Joining me now in the studio to talk more on the pulling out of two states from the national electricity market is our power correspondent, Joshua Ojito. You're welcome to the Network News.
Thank you, Olajide.
All right, Enugu and Ekiti states have now created their electricity markets. What does this portend for the sector?
Thank you, Olajide. For the power sector, this will now bring about or promote competition, especially in the distribution of electricity. And also it will now reduce pressure on the national grid. And this is a fallout of the 2023 Electricity Act, which was signed last year by President Bola Tinubu. The act now decentralized power generation, transmission, and also distribution, that each state now can legislate on electricity matter, create their own market, invite investors to come and generate, transmit, and distribute electricity. So far 12 states have applied to Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission to pull out of the market. But so far, 2 states, their approval have been granted yesterday. That is Enugu State Government and Ekiti State. So these 2 states are now out of the national electricity market. They now have their own market where they can now regulate on electricity. They can also determine their tariff, what they should pay or what customers in their state should also pay.
Okay, Joshua, this new Electricity Act, how will it translate to improve electricity supply?
Just like I say, the Electricity Act is a game changer in the sector because there are so many advantages that it has for the sector. First, the issue of promoting competition. You agree with me that federal government has now been clamoring that the distribution companies have so many states to manage, so they should be unbundled along state lines in such a way that it will be manageable. So now that states are now creating their own electricity market, it will now enable them to have their own disco, their own gencos, and also their own transmission. But mind you, for now, the states are only to transmit, or especially now to do the transmission in areas that are not covered by the national grid. But for areas that are covered by the national grid, those ones are still under the control of the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission. But the good news about this new law or the Electricity Act is that it will now reduce pressure on the national grid. It will allow more states to generate. It will allow states to bring in investors. It will allow states to determine what they want to do in the market. Therefore, there are so many things. And also in the new act also, it provides for eligible customer. The eligible customer means as a company, you can go directly to the generation company and buy electricity, not necessarily buying it for the distribution company, but you buy it from the generation company directly and you get supply also. And also this new act also tasks the discos to sit up in terms of performance because the NBET is now exiting the market. Therefore, NBET is no longer going to buy electricity from the gencos and then sell it to the distribution companies. But the distribution companies are expected to buy their electricity directly from the gencos. In this case, they will now be able to account for what electricity they have bought from the gencos and be able to pay it well. So as time progresses, there are so many good things, and by implication, this will now improve electricity generation. This will now make so many other sources of power generation to be harnessed in the country, like solar and other sources of energy that we have in this country. So it's a good news for the electricity sector.
All right, many thanks, Joshua Ojito there, our power correspondent, for your input on the Network News.
Thank you very much.
Moving on.